Beverly, we have staff in our branches who are not case managers, who generally are either our reception staff or front desk staff, or the staff who mainly focus on eligibility. How would these concepts be of value to them in their work?
Well, I think there are three things that staff can do that could be helpful and also consistent with the philosophy of a strength-based approach to our work. And an approach that always tries to focus on how do we get people more self-sufficient than we found them. For eligibility staff, certainly we want people to use our services, but we want them to use our services in a short-term manner, not to use them perpetually over the course of their lives. So, given that, I think what I would hope eligibility staff would be able to do would be, one, to find and use the strengths that people have. I know that a lot of the work is focused on finding barriers, seeing lack of resources, but I think there are some ways that people can find and use the strengths that people have. For example, part of eligibility is reviewing work experience. And so if you're reviewing work experience for somebody, you can focus on the things they have accomplished and not just the things that they have not accomplished. So if I'm working with somebody and I see that they have got a job and they held it for 3 months, I can do one or two things. I can say, oh, I see you quit that job, or I can say, gosh, that's a good accomplishment. You held on to that job for 3 months. Or I'm working with somebody and they've got an 11th grade education. I can say, oh, I see you dropped out of high school. Or I can say, that's great. At least you've gotten to the 11th grade. Maybe you can think about, going further or working on your GED. So I think that's one of the things we can do. Second thing I think we can do in eligibility, and it doesn't take really a lot of time, and that's to praise people for the accomplishments that they have. So, for example, if somebody calls you, they're getting food stamps, but they've gotten, they want to apply for food stamps, but they've gotten a job. Before we go into the eligibility criteria, we could at least say, well, congratulations, good for you. We're really proud of the fact that you got a job. Or I'm talking to somebody, they're getting food stamps or they're getting some other service, and they say, I've started my GED. Instead of us saying, applying the policy, well, under the policy you can only get X, Y, and Z, we can at least say, well, congratulations, good for you, we're proud of you. Everybody, I think, needs a voice of yes, you can. And one of the things we can be for people is a voice of yes, you can. And sometimes we may be the only voice they have. You may be the only person that said, congratulations on getting a job, or good for you, you started back to school, or way to go, you've got those kids in daycare. Any of the small accomplishments that they have, I think we can recognize and praise those accomplishments. Again, it's not a matter of time, it's what we do with the time that we've got. Third thing I think we can do a better job of is partnering with people to solve problems. Lots of eligibility staff tell me that their clients call them, my rent's due, I'm about to get evicted, I don't have this is the problem. And without meaning to, we can get involved in solving those problems for them instead of giving it back to them. What have you tried? What could you do? What if you tried something else? Before we just step in and start to solve those problems. As I said earlier, I think continuing to solve problems for people is bad for them, and it also burns us out. So, again, we can praise their accomplishments, we can use the strengths they've got, and we can partner with them to do some of the things we'd like to see them do that would help them become more self-sufficient than we found them. Not just be able to use our benefits and services, but one of the challenges we face, I think, is how do we use our resources to help people not stay comfortable where they are, but to move forward with their lives. And I think that's something that all of us want to do.